Student, in this video we shall study about the next chapter, that is a special type of quadrilaterals, and in this we are going to learn about the properties of some of the quadrilaterals, that is four-sided figure, that is trapezium, parallelogram, rectangle, square, rhombus, and about kite. The first type of quadrilateral, that is trapezium. So trapezium is a type of a quadrilateral, and quadrilateral is a four-sided figure in which a quadrilateral is four-sided figure, and it can be anything. It can be a rectangle, it can be a trapezium, it can be parallelogram or anything. So the first one is trapezium. In trapezium, it is a quadrilateral in which one pair is parallel, but the other two sides of it are non-parallel. Now you can see the figure of trapezium. This is a figure of trapezium in which one side, these two sides are parallel, one pair is parallel, and the other pairs are non-parallel. Now you can see we have just named this in a cyclic order: A, B, C, and D. Now these two are parallel and this is a non-parallel sides. Now in this we have just concluded some of the properties by looking at the figure, that you can see BC, you can see that this parallel, the line which is parallel, that is AB is parallel to DC. AB is parallel to DC, and the non-parallel sides are AD and BC. AD and BC, or you can say CB, both are correct. The next thing is AD you can see this angle A plus angle D, because this is a parallel line. So angle A plus angle D, they are allied angles which you have already learned in your previous class, that is class 6 and class 7th in chapter parallel lines. So A and D are allied angles, and which is equal to, allied angles are the sum of allied angle, or you can say supplementary angle. This is always equal to 180 degree, and angle B plus angle C. Angle B plus angle C, these are also allied angles, or the sum of these angles are also 180 degree, or they are supplementary angle. The next is, there are two types, but one type of trapezium is being discussed in this in your course, and that is isosceles triangle and isosceles trapezium, and the next one is scalene trapezium. Now isosceles trapezium is trapezium in which the non-parallel sides, which are non-parallel, they are equal to each other. This is only the difference between isosceles trapezium and normal trapezium. That is a trapezium which we have just discussed. So in this, again AB is parallel to DC, and AD is not parallel to BC, and angle D is equals to angle C, because this is a parallel line, and this side you can see the two marks in this line and two marks in this line. So these lines are equal to each other. So angle D is equals to, because these lines are equal, so angles will also be equal. So angle D is equals to angle C, and angle B is equals to angle A, or angle A is equals to angle B. And diagonals are also equal. The diagonals are AC and DB or BD. The next one is parallelogram. Now in parallelogram, again parallelogram is also a quadrilateral because it is also a four-sided figure. So parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which both the pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Now you can see this is a parallelogram. If you just press a rectangle, if you just press rectangle from above, you will get a parallelogram, and we will also discuss about rectangle too. So this is a parallelogram in which we have just pressed the rectangle, and then the lines get splits, that is the line becomes parallel. So it is a quadrilateral in which both the pair of opposite sides are parallel. Now what is the property? We will just come through you. Property of a parallelogram, and the property is opposite sides are equal. This opposite sides are equal, that is angle that is AB will be equal to DC and BC will be equal to DA or AD. Opposite sides are equal, angles are equal, and each diagonal bisects the parallelogram. Now this is the diagonal, this bisects the, you can make the diagonal which is AC, or you can also make the diagonal from AB, BD or DB. So this diagonal I have just shown this diagonal AC. Now this diagonal of parallelogram always bisects the parallelogram, that is if the angle over here is 70 degree, so it will be divided into 35 and 35. So angle always bisects the parallelogram. The next one is the rectangle. Now again rectangle is also a quadrilateral in which opposite sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, and each angle is 90 degree. Now this is a rectangle, you must have gone through this quadrilateral many times, and in this triangle, in this rectangle, in this rectangle you can see we have just named this ABCD. Now in this rectangle the angles, that is angle A, angle D, angle C and angle B, these are all 90 degree, and the diagonals in this are equal and bisect each other. It means if angle A is, this angle A is 90 degree, so the diagonal, if it is bisecting it, so it will be 45 and 45 degree and 45 degree. So the diagonals bisect each other, and another thing is that diagonals are equal. Just we have in parallelogram we have just learned that diagonal bisects, but diagonals are not equal. But in rectangle diagonals are equal and they bisect each other. So the properties are all similar, but the difference is that the diagonals are equal to in rectangle. So it is a quadrilateral in which opposite sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, and each angle is 90 degree. The next one is the rhombus. Again, because rhombus is also a quadrilateral, so it will also hold all these properties which rectangle is having, that opposite sides will be equal. In the rhombus all the sides are equal, not only the opposite side but all the sides are equal in rhombus, and all the sides are equal in rhombus, and all opposite sides are parallel to each other, and each angle in this is also, in this the angle which is being made in this ABCD, they are not necessarily 90 degree. So the diagonal bisect, the diagonals which is bisecting, they bisect at 90 degree. The diagonals of rhombus bisect at 90 degree. It means the diagonals which are bisecting each other, that is the diagonal BAC and the diagonal DB, they bisect at 90 degree. So this is the difference from the other quadrilateral. The next quadrilateral is square. Now again, square is having all the properties of rhombus, and rhombus is having all the properties of square. It is also a quadrilateral. In this square all the sides are equal, opposite sides are parallel, diagonals are equal, and diagonals bisect at 90 degree. Now the difference between rhombus and a square is only that in this the diagonals are equal and it bisect at 90 degree. The diagonals bisect 90 degree in rhombus also, but in a square the diagonals are equal to and they bisect at 90 degree. So these things are similar. The only difference is that the diagonals are equal in square, but in rhombus the diagonals may not be equal. The last part is kite. We'll just come through the last quadrilateral, that is kite. You must have seen kite of this shape. Kite is always of this shape. So it is again a quadrilateral because it is a four-sided figure. So it is a quadrilateral in which two pairs of adjacent sides are equal is called kite. Now in a kite, two pairs of adjacent sides are equal. You can see these adjacent side, that is BA is equal to AD and BC will be equal to CD. So these adjacent sides are equal. This is all about this kite, and I don't think we have too many questions about this quadrilateral. The only questions which will be coming in your course is from parallelogram, rhombus, trapezium, etc. Student, we have only one exercise in this chapter, that is exercise 17. In exercise 17 we will only go through some questions, the questions which are mathematical question, that is the question of numerical, we will solve that. But the proving question, that is the question which is being proved, we have to show that it is rectangle, we have to show that this is a rhombus or whatever. We don't have to do that questions, that is it is not in your course. So question number 9 till question number you can say 22, in which you are having proofs, is not in your course. So you are not going to do that questions. Only we are concerned with the numerical part of the question, in which we have to find any angle. So we will be doing question number 1 2 from here, and some questions from here, that is 19 and 20 and 21 too. So these questions will be done and will be explained to you, and then after you have to do these questions in your copy.